It's no secret that Xenoblade has some of the coolest areas just ever created. Like, obviously there's Gower Plain, just this vast grasslands, and some of just the coolest architecture. Then there's places like Funni Village, that's just a nice calm place to relax. But there's one area in particular that I want to talk about. One area that is so cool, yet so creepy at the same time. And if you've played Xenoblade 2, you know exactly what area I'm talking about. So, this is where you wash up when you first enter the chapter, and after the whole events of Chapter 7, which I'm not going to go too depth into story content, because, I mean, I just don't need to, and I feel like I'm just going to start, crying, if you know what I mean. But, it's, technically are just like a reunion to, finally see a certain someone again. And just first getting here, obviously, even throughout the game, this place is mentioned. If you somehow pulled Adenine, not somehow, it's not that hard. If you pulled Adenine and go to one of the Argentum shops, there's tomes of Morpha that you can buy. And that is your first instance of hearing about Morpha in a way. I think there's that's just the one off the top of my head that I can remember. But I'm sure there's other people that mention it. And obviously Rex says before the chapter, not before the chapter, when you first get here, the place that us salvagers call the Land of Morpha, which obviously other salvagers, I'm sure if you talk to other salvagers that they'll mention this place. I'm just trying to think if I can remember anything. Most likely not. I guarantee, if some people be watching oh, it's Jimmy Jim, Kenny Jim mentions this place. And we can't forget, since I brought up story, we can't remember or forget the iconic scene that is coffee and milk that occurs right over here in this general area. I wouldn't constantly have the map up, but obviously said I can't see very well, and this area is very dark, and I just want to set it for the tone for this area because it is just it's just unsettling, man. It's just really weird. All the areas that you've been through this far are nothing like this area in the game, which makes sense for reasons to come. Now, there's this area called the Fallen Skyscraper, which is just nothing, but you could just think, oh, the skyscraper fell. But I'm trying to think in the moment. There's really just no skyscrapers in, Xenoblade 2. There's, castles.
What have we here?
But there's nothing like a skyscraper, which I feel kind of could be a hint towards, because, skyscrapers are more of a real world kind of thing. We have skyscrapers, which, if you kind of pay attention, I feel that could, hint towards that. I really wish I should have set myself to a lower level so I could hear more of the battle theme. Battle theme's great, obviously. It still moved forward. Everybody knows how much I love that song. Also, just, this looks like a room. The fact that, people probably, I don't know what exactly this place could have been. Just probably an office where just people just work their 9 to 5. And it's just all destroyed here. Now, I think right around here, in this general area, there's, the one cutscene that, the promise, which, foreshadows a current coming event that happens later on in the story, which has nothing to really do with this place, but there is a part that is brought up during that cutscene with Poppy, and this place must have achieved a big technological advancement.
Come out.
Which,
gotta be kind to the environment. Searching data.
If you keep putting these parallels together, the game, I love that, not just about Xenoblade 2, but I guess the series as a whole, that the game constantly feeds you. It gives you all this information it just basically slaps you with it. And it says, take this. But you're too dumb to realize this is important information, or this is coming, foreshadowing something, or this is important lore. And then after you, like, you know, finish that arc or beat the game, you're like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. How did I not catch this? I feel like right here is when people should start to realize...
It's a new day, everyone!
Good morning. Rise and shine.
Rex, I'm sorry. You cut me off. But, it doesn't look like a new day. It looks pretty much insanely dark still, but okay. As I was saying, I feel like if you ever pay attention, you know, look at the ground, you should start to realize, like, wait, why does this look like a highway? What is going on here? And it's just... I just love that this area just constantly gets, like, kind of creepier, and, like, the music as well is just very unsettling. It's a weird, not a weird song, I would say. That's not the right word to use, but just unsettling to listen to. Now, I'm not exactly sure if, I think this is the place. Obviously, you know, you have Jin in your party when exploring this place for the first time. And, actually no, not Jin, per se. Bridget brings up that these enemies are basically like zombies. And the only way to destroy them is by hitting them in their core, which is oddly like, you know, core crystals.
I'm going all in.
Which you could maybe think, oh, they're just like, they're like blades or like, flesh eaters or blade eaters in that case.
Mythra!
You finally got something right. I'm on to you.
And also the fact that they can change copy, it's just kind of a weird ability.
Yeah! No one can stop us now. Anchor shot!
Kid.
Ha!
Just as we planned. Rex!
Sword
We can
back!
Good choice.
Go for it!
Photon edge!
Why not? Ha!
Rex!
Rolling
we can do
smash! Sword back! Anchor shot! Ha! Rolling smash! Did I do that? Why not?
It. Rex! We can do it!
I guess sword back! Anchor shot! Ha!
We'll make your
Pyra.
dreams a reality. This needs a lighter touch. Got it.
Pyra, let's go!
This. Rex, I'm with you.
Burning
Sword! Witness our power.
You know, you're playing the game, and you coming up to it, you could just not be paying attention, really. That, like, oh, that's a highway, or that's really actually a skyscraper where, you know, people, you know, probably worth their 9 to 5 is. The area for, you know, first-time playthroughs probably starts to get a lot creepy up here, because up here, not all the way up here, is the remains of Torna from the Aegis War. Which, also, if you play Torna, which, please play Torna. Torna is a very good, recommend.
So, shall we?
When you enter the Torn Titan, it plays this exact same music, which I feel like is kind of fitting, since this is what, you know, it's also kind of unsettling there as well. Not as unsettling, but I feel like it kind of is still unsettling, because, like, you know what it becomes, you know what's going to happen to it. Torna is just really weird. It's a weird game, because you know what's going to happen, but it still just manages to make you just in pain and hurt. I kind of am curious if this, like, I'm pretty sure this layout is very similar. Not completely 100%, I know part of it. This is just part of the Torn Titan.
What have we here?
But I'm sure there's like an area that you can compare this to and just see the similarities to it. Now, this room up here, it plays a very important cutscene that, you could say, is the first hint towards tying, actually no, it's not the first hint, I would say more of a second hint that ties this game together with Xenoblade 1. But I have my own personal, like, theory. It's kind of a hot take, I feel like, that the boss that you fight here drops a key card similar to a character from Xenoblade 1, known as Mythra, or Galea, as later revealed in the final chapter of this game. Personally, I don't think that is necessarily fought or Galea here and killed her. I just think that it's just from debris from the whole fusions of the worlds. But I mean, I'm still can see that, yeah, that's just, personally what I think. And after that one little area, it's onto the final dungeon of the game, the, World Tree, which the whole World Tree itself, I'm not going to go into for this, but that whole area is very cool as well. Definitely, these two areas are some of my favorites just in the series. But I kind of went all over the place here, and I didn't really talk much about lore, really, because I feel like I can't do it justice. There are videos out there by Loxin and K-George that really set the tone for this place. I just wanted to run around here and just take in the view, and just kind of talk about my few thoughts that I have on this area. Even though I didn't really talk much. It's just, this is probably one of my favorite areas. I don't know the exact tier list or what it is, but this area is up there. And I'm really excited to see what they do with Xenoblade 3, since this area fuses with Machina Forest. Which is going to be really interesting, because they took one of the most pretty areas from Xenoblade 1 and just fused it with this area that is very mysterious and really depressing after you get to Chapter 10, which, since we come this far, I feel like I can talk about my few thoughts about that I've been kind of hinting at throughout this, but like, the fact that this was the world before Xenoblade 2 took place. This was just a part of the world that, literally I said, yeah, people just, work their 9-to-5s. And Klaus / Zanza wanted to make a new world, and all of this place was just destroyed. And those gold dogs, I feel like I'm pronouncing their names so wrong, and I'm so sorry. But like, those are like people that clung to life and are still living through this. It's just, oh my god, it's sad. And one final thing before we go there. There's one location, or should I say secret area. View of a Lost Time.
We're here.
So,
This area,
shall we?
just the name alone, it just gut punches you, like, oh my god. I never found this area, I don't think, on my first playthrough. Actually, I know I didn't, because I was just too enthralled with the story, just wanted to keep going. But coming back to this area and just exploring more of it, and just finding this area called View of a Lost Time, and knowing what it's is referring to, that like, it literally is a view of a lost time. Like, this is like one of my favorite secret areas in this game.
What have we here?
And the series.
Leave it to me.
I like turning the brightness up, because most people, when they play this game, don't really use that setting, I guess. I feel like I'm one of the rare few that use it, because, most people can see. But, like, turning the brightness up really just brightens up the area, and you can just, I feel like, see more of it. And I feel like kind of, in some areas, make it look, like, better. Now, I've tried my best to really talk about this area and give some thoughts. Like, I cannot do this area justice, and I said earlier, if you really want to, learn more, or just have content about this area, Loxin and K-Jewelers have done fantastic work on these areas. More than I ever could do in, like, this short little run-through that I've done. I really am curious, though, on what they're going to do with Xenoblade 3 with this area. Because I wonder if they're going to have, like, any of those I cannot say their names, I'm so sorry. I just wonder if they're going to have any of those kinds of enemies in the area, or if they're just going to be all gone, or, like, their remains. I really hope that they lean more into, like, maybe give us a little more lore about the place, or the party learns about that the world is like a fusion of a world that was separated, created a new world. I feel like that could be just interesting to see how their takes on it, and that'd be kind of cool if the land of Morpha or Mac the Wildwoods, I think that's the area's name, if that's how they learn about the origins of their world. I think it's most likely not. I think Sword March is definitely the place where they're gonna learn about it, but that's just, I feel like, me wanting more Land of Morpha content. And besides this area being like, insanely creepy and all that, it houses some of the cutest cutscenes at the end. They're at the start of the chapter with Rex and Mythra. So even though this area is insanely creepy, at least it has some of the cutest moments in the game.